These little Labradoodle puppies are 4 weeks old, and all 9 of them are just having a great time as they are more comfortable on all fours and starting to have toys to play with. Hi, I'm Claire from Maternal Labradoodles, and these are our petite Australian Labradoodle puppies from the Shadow Pebbles litter. These little guys are just having so much fun this week. It's always a huge transition between week 3 and week 4. Now these puppies are actually 4.5 weeks old. We did the video a few days later this week as the other 2 litters who were in here with these guys went home. So that was a lot of going ons in here. The things moved, the puppy pens were changed, the other litter, the calligraphy litter, moved to a different spot. So there was a lot of activity for these little guys. And because the time between week 3 and 4 is so critical, we wanted to wait and let the puppies settle in. Indeed, we had planned to move these puppies, not so much physically move them, but expand their space, and we haven't, mostly because we just wanted to give them a little bit more time. And now today you can see they're totally fine. They're not been upset by what's gone on at all. They're relaxed and happy. And so later on today, we'll move their pen out and we'll give them another 2 feet. That will give them a lot more room to run around because these guys, there's 9 of them and they need more space because they are active now. That is the biggest change that we see between week 3 and week 4. They start really motoring around and really getting on with things. So we want to be sure, whoopsie, sorry. We want to be sure that we give them all the space to be able to do that. Now next week, when they're 5 weeks old, then we will move along and start letting them explore outdoors. So they're really going to have lots of adventures happening in the next few days. Now the other thing that's happened this week is they have started eating quite a bit of solid food. And they weren't very excited about the pablum option. They didn't really find that very satisfying. So one day we were, Rowan had her food over on the other side, and they were able to get over to Rowan's side and they started eating her food. So we switched them from the pablum and just started offering them regular raw, mixed with a little bit of goat milk, and lo and behold, that was just what they were waiting for. And now they're doing not too badly at eating solid food. And you can see none of them are particularly interested in Rowan at the moment. Hello, sweetheart. So that also gives you a good indication that they're starting to move a little bit more from the milk bar over to feeding themselves. So Rowan's happy about that. As always, Rowan likes to be out with us as opposed to in with her babies. She does come in and look after them, but she prefers it if she does that with one of us in here too. When we are not in here with us, then she's never particularly pleased about the prospect. She does a pretty good job of mothering them, and these guys are going to be much more independent puppies as a result. But you can see, like right now, she's not really wanting to feed them. She's making it really difficult for them. So it's not going to be hard to wean them because they'll already be practically weaned by themselves. So what does that mean for the puppies? Nothing terrible. None of them are suffering in any ways. It's just they need to work harder to be able to get what they want. It also is teaching them to get more of their comfort from people at an earlier age, which is all totally fine. There's nothing bad that's going on or anything that's going to harm the puppies. Rowan's just not all that excited about being in here with them. Whereas we have other dogs like Posy, who you can hardly get to leave her puppies. Even when it's time to go home, Posy likes to be with her puppies. Now you can see here's a good example of starting to play with toys. That's Yellow Collar there playing with Mr. Parrot. And now we're going to talk a little bit about the importance of the toys. So it's really important what toys your puppy has, what toys your adult dog has, because this is something that provides your puppy with a lot of satisfaction during the day. It's mentally enriching, and it just is something that gives them fulfillment in their life. But if you give them the wrong toys, be those, obviously we're not going to give them ones that are unsafe, and there are many, many, many of those. But by the right toys, we mean the right type of thing for the age and the personality of your dog. When they're puppies, we're just worried about what's right for that particular stage of their development. And then when we have an adult dog, we're more concerned with what works for their personality. So what we have in here right now is we're going to start with this little guy here. This is actually a human baby toy. It's a rattle. And you can see that Rowan likes it. This is when she's most interested in the babies, is if she can steal their toys. So this is here to make this noise. It's unexpected, it squeaks, it does all sorts of things. And what we want is for the puppies to come across this naturally by stepping on it and it moving, and they hear the sound. If they start chewing on it, they'll get the squeak. And that is something that is new to them and unexpected. So this is part of step 1 of desensitization, because we want them to be encountering all sorts of new things that they're not used to having, and then be able to think that these are all great things. So you can see Rowan's incredibly fascinated by this toy. There, you have it, you big silly. The other thing that we've got here is Mr. Parrot that Yellow Collar was playing with earlier. Now Mr. Parrot has a nice soft texture, different textures. Here is a little smoother, here's a little rougher, and he's got this crinkly tail. His squeaker does not work anymore. So no squeaking, but we've got this crinkle here. And then we've got the softer feet as well. Big enough for more than one puppy to play with, large enough that it requires some problem solving to be able to negotiate, to get around or over Mr. Parrot, or to just interact with him. So that's what he's doing in here. And then we have Mr. Cow. Mr. Cow is flat, and he's all about the crinkle sound. And his squeaker also doesn't work, but it's here to provide that different texture when they're chewing. But lots of crinkle from Mr. Cow. Very soft and velvety, almost exterior. Yes, you take them all, Rowan, yes. You take all your baby's toys, that's right. So those are the ones, and this guy here, he's been through the ringer a few times. He too is a crunchy toy. Again, a different texture where we have the more, but there's more fleece to it, and then on the other side, more of a velvety plush type of texture. So the reason for the different textures is we want the puppies to start getting used to different feels in their mouths, because they can't learn bite inhibition until they learn what your skin feels like in their mouth, smells like, and tastes like in their mouths. So that's a part of the reason why we give them different textured toys, so they start to understand that different things have a different feel in their mouth. And that way, when we move on, when they're old enough, we can be successful with bite inhibition. So we do let them bite us to start with, and you can see my toes are quite popular right now. And it's all right, because green color doesn't have enough teeth to be hurting my toes, so I'm happy to offer my toes as a toy at this point. By next week, the teeth will be a little bit sharper, and then by week 6, they'll be taking on that baby piranha quality that puppies' teeth have for a while. Now, puppies do bite. This is a fact of life. There is nothing you can do about it. It is nothing to do with their personality. It's because they're teething. They're getting their teeth in. They must bite. It's the only way they can get their teeth to come through, is if they chew on things. And that's why it's important that you provide the right type of toy, enough of them, for your puppy at each stage of when they're chewing. Now, sometimes people think, oh, I'm going to go buy some rawhide. Or that they think, oh, for my older dog, I'm going to go buy a dentist stick, or one of those things that says, oh, it flosses your dog's teeth and everything. Rawhide is one of the most poisonous and dangerous things you can buy for your dog. I wish that they would ban it from pet stores. There is a move to do that, but it hasn't happened yet. It can cause so many problems for your dogs, and it is full of so many bad things. So please do not ever buy rawhide. A bully stick is totally fine if it comes from Canada and if it's 100% natural, it's not smoked, it doesn't have the odor removed and things like that. Reynolds, is there a bully stick over on the counter there by any chance? I'm just going to show you one if there is one. Usually we have one or two hanging around. We might have one that's a little bit too big, but we'll give you an example of what that looks like. So this one is a little bit too advanced for these guys, but this is all natural. It's Canadian. It's one of the ones we carry at Curated Canines. And this, you can see, is really hard. Okay, not for you, Rowan. And if I offer it to any of the puppies right now, they're not really going to find that particularly interesting. They're just going to ignore it. And the fact that it's so hard means that it wouldn't provide them with any satisfaction because they wouldn't be able to actually get their teeth into it. It would just be like chewing on one of the bricks. So that's why we want something that's softer with more give, that actually makes them feel relief from their teething pain and go, oh, okay, this is what I need to do, and they can chew away on it. When you come for your puppy family visit, they will have smaller bully sticks that are appropriate for their size, and they will be interested in those at that time. It's just like freeze-dried treats. Right now, when we call in the calligraphy puppies, they get freeze-dried treats and they go crazy for them. They just love them. If you gave these guys freeze-dried treats, they'd look at you like, well, what's that? I don't know what to do with that. They can't even process it yet because they don't have enough teeth to do that. So all these things are really important to do and introduce at the right stage and right time of your puppy's life. Now, the other thing we're starting to see here is little personalities starting to develop. We're starting to see who's more outgoing, who's quieter, and these are not what their personalities are going to be like even in a couple of weeks when you come for your puppy family visit. And we want to remind you, when you do come for your visit, it's all fine for you to let us know, oh, I just loved, we'll pick green color because she's right here. But remember, what you see in a short 60-minute visit is not going to tell you who the puppy is. Remember that we've been with these puppies from the second they were born, and over time we've been able to see them develop. We know what's underlying, and we're able to see them in different circumstances. Now, ouchie, you have more teeth because that's starting to hurt my foot there. Yeah, Miss Brown, that is a little bit sharp tooth. So Brown's teeth obviously are in a little bit more than the other dog's teeth are because when she chews on my toes, that's hurting a little bit. And that's another reason why Rowan is not so excited about having them on the milk bar, is because they do have their teeth. And she's saying, yeah, that is just a bit uncomfortable. But Rowan also forgets when she gets too full of milk that she does need to come in and get the milk out. But next week, she'll be really excited. When they turn 5 weeks old is when we start serious weaning. Then she'll be sleeping in the bedroom with us again, which will make her very happy. And she'll only be in 4 times a day to feed the puppies. And then that will go down to just once a day. And then after our puppy family visit day, she'll go back home to her guardian family because she'll be all done her job then. And I'm sure she'll be, oh, thank goodness. Sometimes people wonder, do the girls miss their babies when they leave them? And the answer is without exception, no. Even the ones who are really deeply devoted moms, when it's time to go home, they're, yes, I'm out of here. They're happy to go back to their guardian home, and they do not miss their puppies at all. However, when we do the allocation video, all of the moms who watch the allocation video with their guardians, they can hear their puppies, they can hear my voice, they can hear their puppies on the video, and they will know and recognize that those are their puppies. I'm just going to see if I can, oops. Whoopsie, 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 whoopsie. Oh, Mr. Orange, my goodness. Did Mommy sit on you? That was my fault because I was getting her to sit. I'm trying to get Rowan maybe just to sit down for a second. Oh, no. Oh goodness, that was such a sad thing that happened. Poor little Orange, the tiniest one in the whole group, and Mommy sat on you. I'm sorry. And you thought you were just going in to have some nice milk bar. No, that's too bad. So when we have a puppy that cries like that when something happens, this is about the level of comfort we want to offer. We just want to make sure that Mr. Orange gets himself all under control again. He's still doing a little bit of crying there. And there, now he's okay. And we just tell him, oh, he's okay. We don't make a huge fuss, but we do always make sure we provide comfort to them. I'm sorry. That was all my fault. I'm sorry. You're okay now. And there he is. He'll have completely forgotten about it. Rowan, let's see if we can get you to feed your babies. She did feed them not too long before we started the video, so she figures that, you know, this is good. I've done my job now. Mr. Orange must have figured that he probably needed a little bit more. So if I hang on to her and encourage her to stay in place, then the puppies have a little bit more of a chance to nurse at the milk bar. Otherwise, they climb all over her. So far, Rowan doesn't seem to think it's too much fun to, do you want to stay? No, she doesn't want to. Okay, let's not flip him off and scare him again. There we go. Okay, that's fine. Some moms really enjoy playing with their puppies. Rowan, not so much. But it's totally fine because we have aunties here. We actually have their great grandma here, Ripple. And Ripple does love to play with puppies. She also teaches them good puppy manners. So that's what the puppies have been up to this past week. Introductions to toys, getting more mobile, and as I said, they'll be getting their new larger quarters shortly. We're not going to go through all their weights this week. We're just trying to make it a really nice, simple, easy one for them after all the goings on from this weekend. And then next week's update, we'll do their weights again, and then we'll talk a little bit more about socializing your puppy, and we'll also talk about alone time for your puppy. So we thank you so much for watching. If you've got a minute, drop us a comment, and if not, then just a thumbs up if you enjoyed today's video, and we'll see you all again next week. Thanks so much for watching.